And psyops is what it is. I'm listening to this woman. And you see this picture of this woman. You see what happened to their faces, right? This is a story of a lot of women. Matter of fact, a lot of women I've been calling out. There's a lot of females involved in that. What kind of woman are you? And that's a lot. A lot of stories are like that, where they're saying there's a lot of women involved in this program. Even when they're getting raped using this technology, they say they can hear the voices of women. So of course, I understand when it comes to gender, there's all kind of participants in all genders. But with me, they are trying to present themselves. Oh, we are this like feminist, femme fatale, and this is because we are avenging for what you've done to this person. And like first of all, do not speak. For example, they say this I'm going to say a random name, Courtney. They say we're doing it for Courtney. What you've done to her is wrong. And I'm like, first of all, I'm the people talking to me are involved in the program where you see what's happening to these people's face. There's a lot of women. Some of them think there's more women. So they were saying there was a high percentage of women in some cases, but I think it's just like a high percentage of women speaking up. It doesn't mean there's actually more women being tortured than men. But it means there's a high percentage, a high volume of women being tortured. So this trash, doing these things to me, try to play this like avenging femme fatale crew of people when they're in a program that is utilizing rape tactics on women for the purpose of this program. We gotta understand this program is meant to break down people for the purpose of the research and development of this program. They break them down using sexual torture on top of what you're seeing there. They grill them using this technology. And on top of that, they target the genitals all the time. Can you imagine? Try to then present yourself as this like femme fatale, like you're sharing, you share. That's why I call this thing sharing. You share, huh? And try to bring up me and my friend, and it's like, oh, you told your friend, go ahead, go try your luck, go with go do see if it's gonna work out for you. The same friend, by the way, let me just add this. This is a friend that was involved in my targeting. Before these bottom feeders were even involved, I knew something was off when he was acting weird and tried to make it weird around me. So it was like, oh wow, how awkward is that? They were like, oh, we're gonna get him next. His life is getting better. He has a house, a nice pickup truck. He has a dog. His family has expanded. He's living the life, the American dream life. He has everything he needs to be happy. Now, if he's happy, I don't know. But let's just say that financially and career-wise, things look better. And they most likely will continue to look better. Now, matter of fact, now they try to make me have stimulations and manipulate my memories to have stimulation toward his children to counter that. Which we know that memory manipulation is something that not only is done to target individual, but is apparently coming up in the commercial world, where to the point where now they're writing ethical paper about the potential of memory manipulations. By the way, initiated by who else? DARPA is working on the brain initiative, right? And we know what we found in DARPA. Now you understand everything is put in the right perspective. But for these people, try to play. Imagine you're in a program that is doing so much horrible things to women, including the pedophilia type of torture, by the way. And they're like, no, we are this. And of course, now I understand it's what you call a psyop. You make yourself look like you're something to make the person you target believe that it's something else. So when they vilify him, they're like, we're doing that because of this. When in reality, we're doing this because we are working for a government program that experiment on human subjects. And what we do, these horrible things we do, not only we do that to you, but we do that to a lot of women and their children. We are the foulest human beings you can imagine. Try to vilify you and try to make you accept these pedophilia things that we do to you. When the entities that run this program are filled with pedos. But they're trying to counter reality. And I'm not here to let them live. And so sometimes they let them live their fantasy. So sometimes they try to live their like femme fatale dream. It's like, oh, you share her. I was like, listen, look at this woman. What you guys do to them? You burn their faces. You torture them, and they sexually torture them. The horrible stories you hear about this woman targeted are unbelievable. First of all, they are more vulnerable. Then they are targeted. Then their career, their life is destroyed, and their children's life. Some of them become homeless. They bum like they say I'm gonna be. And they live in this horrible life. And because we know women have this stronger will of living, that they're gonna try to prolong and find ways to survive. So it's a long life of misery and torture. And this bottom feeder wants me to think of them in different ways. No, not with me. First of all, I know who's doing this. And it's funny, even the psyop could not even work, because let's just say the people who put me in this program are definitely not some femme fatale feminist group of people. Matter of fact, they can't even speak about a pedophile named Roy Moore, because these people who put me in this program spend money on this pedophile campaign. Oh, and FY, they're so conservative, right? That, the abortion rights. Yeah. They help flip that law, the Roe versus Wade. They help change that, turning this country backward. So I think that the employer who put me in this program called this like group of feminist, progressive, femme fatale crew and say, hey guys, for this woman, let's just call her Courtney. Oh, make him pay for Courtney. No, these people were racist. Put me in a program where they know they can get rid of me. Of course, the program itself is not. Oh, they don't discriminate. They will torture everybody. They will burn everybody. They will rape everybody. They will torture them, they torment them, and they push them to suicide. Everybody. And there's a lot of women from all races, a lot of men from all races, a lot of children from all races being tortured by these bottom feeders who wants me to look at them in this femme fatale crew. And they try to disorient me. It's like, oh, we do this. We did this. No, we do this. Because I can reassure you that I know the people involved in torturing me have tortured children and women. And I'm very comfortable saying that. So when they look at me and try to play this femme fatale, I was like, do you know I know what you guys have done to these women? Should we listen to... I have no problem bringing that up. Should we listen to what you guys do to women? And how systematic rapes are used? There's not a single woman right now who can say, oh, me. Let's just call me Joffrey. Joffrey did something to me and I want him to. Not a single one. There's one person they were trying to play like, oh, we're doing it for her, right? Let's call her Brittany. It's just, and she's like, oh, we're doing it for Brittany. I was like, hey, Brittany, how's everything? My life is great. I'm living my best life with my kids and everything. How about you? How's everything? Do you think she has a speck of like thoughts about me? None. While these people are in a program that does horrible things to women, and in my mind they try to bring up, I remember when you're like, when you're like in a sexual moment, where did you ever think like that and this? Stop it. Do you remember what you guys do to these women? I know who I'm talking to. I'm not talking about somebody in their moment of like, alone time and thinking a way to be stimulated, like. They are doing horrible things, but they try to vilify you. Target individual, nobody's perfect. We all have our own thing, and we have, I'm not perfect. I've thought about women in many sexual way. I've watched different, like, I'm just like them. But they try to vilify you and try to dehumanize you and try to make you feel guilty for these random things and try to paint you in a way that's falsified. Can you imagine, like, right now they try, but when you're like in the sexual moments and you try to like rally you and you try to think of something more like aggressive in your head and like, which, matter of fact, now they try to change into pedophilia. It's like, you see that? What you see? It's like, Do you remember that there are women all around the world asking for help, begging to find ways to escape this nasty torture and brutal torture? We are to them we are guinea pigs. Guinea pigs. And a lot of those guinea pigs are women and children. But then also they want to play this femme fatale, feminist. Here, listen to what they do to women. Listen to some of this, just a sample of the sexual torture.
It's been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly.
So, what do you think I'm going to see them as? You know, they're trying to find anything to try to vilify me. Do you hear? This is reality. You think it ends here? You think I cannot find more of this? Maybe because they're women. Listen to this woman.
And it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, just shot in the face. You know, sound like an angry ass old person. You know, then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. You know, stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the voices go, it's a bunch of females. You know, and I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow this to go on?
Can you imagine me knowing these things and them trying to create us psyops? This thing doesn't end there. I can bring more. This is the constant things that I know, and this is why things are comical when I hear this trash talk to be like, oh, we share, we are. No, what? Do you think that's it? Listen to this.
Injustice.
You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of you being a victim.
I mean, what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how you perceive yourself as being.
I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, how do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that? I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1 but 2. The one physician said, you're mentally sound as a bell. He said, I don't have any idea what's going on with you. When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum. I get electric shock of my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both my hands. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of
The source are these exotic weapons. They talk about in 2970 that if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Do you know what they're trying to do to counter? Oh, no, you're our victim. We're different. It's us. And they try to make me think, but remember when you were alone in bed, you were like, and they try to find moments when I'm like intimate with myself. And that's the things they do. They try to vilify. It's like, you see how you were thinking about these things like that, and this aggressive thing, Well, they try to block these things. It doesn't end here. Listen to what they do to women and their children.
My name is Catherine Nestor, and I'm from Pennsylvania. This commission has spoken of a long history of abuse of the human research subject. Although no one mentioned MK Ultra today, President Clinton recently apologized for this. My young child and I have been used as non-consensual test subjects. We have been subjected to COINTELPRO-like stalking, remote neural monitoring, and electromagnetic torture, resulting in psychological and physical damage. And I won't go into the details of that because I have 4 pages written in here that is very similar to Connie's testimony. Please do not wait 70 years to investigate this. I ask Dr. Amy Gutman to begin today. There is new work for the Commission for Human Subject Protection on our shores. And please give us a dramatic response, Susan. And please give us a congressional hearing. Thank you.
So, you see why the PSYOP is not something I'm going to let them escape with. It's whatever ways they try to vilify you, whatever manipulations or whatever things they try to like bring up and try to change and create a narrative and like, listen, these are the people addressing you. These are the people vilifying you. They are involved in this program regardless of how they're trying to disorient you. They have vilified the most vulnerable. You think that's it? Listen to this.
Research. I too believe my experience is referred to as no-touch torture, utilizing defense technologies. Jonathan Marino, he basically predicted all this a number of years ago in his book Undue Risk. I'm asking you to help initiate a congressional investigation. We've all come a long way. This is what is needed. We want to have the accounts of this extreme human rights abuse that's going on in our country documented and heard, all of the accounts. We also need what was done during the Clinton administration, which is a major declassification of some of these documents that are hiding what's been going on. I speak for many when I say we've suffered long enough. My personal experience has been 10 years. I've been vilified. I've been ostracized. I've been tortured. I have burns on my body. I'm an American. I have rights.
This is why I make videos. For me, it's understanding that target individual, we are being vilified, manipulated, changed into somebody else. Nobody's perfect. Like, listen to how this woman sound. Do you think this, like, I know who I am. I know me. But I know for a fact there's not a single person who can just really say, this Joffrey, let's get him. The reason why this is happening to me is because I'm a target individual. But if you can hear this woman and hear what's happening to this woman, talk about how she's being vilified. Talking about mother's young child being tortured. Women being raped and tormented. And these bottom feeders try to play this femme fatale feminist. And be like, no, it's our right. Like, of course, I know who this is, who's running this. This woman who say, the Department of Defense, she knows. They're delusional. They've been raping and torturing women all around the world, using this technology and wanting me to let them live in their fantasy. For me, they're like, no, it's gonna be our torture. It's gonna be our rape. It's our. We know who's running this show. We know what they're involved in. Then these people doing this thing to me are involved in things like that, torturing women like that. If they make the mistake, for me it's like this. If you make the mistake to think that I'm going to see you in a different light, that you guys are somehow an organization of like femme fatale feminist group of women and avenging for corny, because we care about these women so much that we're in a program that is out here frying and raping women till they kill themselves. They're delusional. And I'm not going to let them live in their delusion. I will see them for the bottom feeders, trash, involved in programs that does these horrible things to women, wanting to come up with this little fantasy. I'm not going to let that happen. No, it's not going to change what's going to happen to me. It's not. Whatever's going to happen to me, remember this. It's happening this to women. You heard what they do to their genitals? This goes on. Some women say that I can't even use the restroom. They're messing with my rectum. They're messing with my genitals. They're expanding this and that. They do this to my... And they're like, oh, they're waiting for you. Yes, okay. That changes it all. Yes. With me, that's the kind of psyop. And that's why it's kind of frustrating to hear people who try to create this psyop. As much as I'm validated as I am, as much as I know what they do, I know. The psyops, the way they were trying to paint themselves as, no, with me, it's just like, yeah, you who's doing this thing to me is involved in doing this to women too. And by the way, for those who are trying to play, like, so for some, I'm at Perps, right? They try to be like, oh, but I did this. Like, I never did that personally. Maybe somebody doing this thing to you have done that, but not me personally. You know, that's... No, but you're in a program where not only this is done to women and children, but some of the people that are doing this thing to me, working with you, have experience doing that to women. And I'm so thankful that I didn't fall into this nastiness where I'll be involved myself in a program that is doing this horrible thing and then having to damn myself. But you know what? He might have done that, but me, I didn't do that to that person. Just you.